What's up, everybody? Rodrigo Bayonne. We are back with another episode of All About You. Today, we're here with Mr. Andrew Greer.
Hey,
What up?
How are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me in.
Awesome. Thanks for cruising, man. So, the purpose of the show is I know you're a badass. We don't want to brag. I really want to know, you're one of the biggest development seekers, finders. You sell a lot. You bring a lot of investors. You know how to identify these opportunities. So I kind of want to know, A, what got you into real estate? B, what got you into development? C, what got you into the investments from development? And then talk to us about like the process of everything that goes into it, right? So, that good?
Yeah.
Cool.
No,
Let's start.
That makes perfect sense.
Alright.
I can do that.
That's what you do.
Yeah. So,
Alright.
real estate, real easy. I got into real estate. I was a financial advisor, stockbroker. The market went really bad, and I didn't enjoy that. So I wanted to get into assets that I could manage and have responsibility for because I was working with clients, and I didn't like when the market shifted and I couldn't control it. So I ended up getting myself into real estate. First, purchasing properties to flip, managing them, and using my past clients as the lenders on them and creating a portfolio of properties that way.
Awesome.
So that's how I got into real estate. I would say that I'm definitely glad I got into real estate because I always knew I was going to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I didn't care what it was. I always said that growing up. I said, I'll sell porta potties. I don't care if I own the business. That's all that matters to me. I just want to be the business owner, the entrepreneur. So I'm really glad I ended up in real estate instead of porta potties. So
Very nice.
from there, how we got into development, my company, Thomas Stratford Investments, it's me and my partner. We were out buying flips, and we really were thinking, flipping houses, ton of fun. It's got that HGTV vibe. But how do you really make long-term wealth and make long-term money for your family to have? And we're like, well, we need to get into development. We need to start building and going that route. So we were fortunate enough to buy a piece of property that we thought we were going to build 2 homes on, and we couldn't because it wasn't as big as we thought it was.
Oh.
So we ran into our first issue. And from there, we decided, well, why don't we buy the lots around it and just make a subdivision? I say that nonchalantly, but that's actually what happened.
Wow.
And we just ended up to have vacant land around it. And the person that sold us the other lot that was smaller than they said it was happened to own it. So the whole situation worked out, and we ended up buying that property from them. Did my first owner financing deal there.
Very nice.
They financed it, and we created our first subdivision. And
How many properties did you build?
so that was 4 homes.
Wow.
So and it entered me into a different realm where I actually started selling maps.
Uh-huh.
So I sold the map out for that property to another investor instead of building it, which is a different process and something that a lot of investors, developers do. They'll go out, they'll actually be the one to create the map and then sell that map out to a builder. So that was our first time doing that. And I've done that since a few more times. We did one in Pacific Beach. We have a couple maps for sale right now as well, and then we're doing others. So that's somewhat of the evolution. I know there was a C question. I don't remember what it was.
So let me ask you a question. So I speak with a lot of realtors, I speak with a lot of sellers, and I speak with a lot of buyers. Sometimes there's a lot of people that actually have 2, 3, 4 acres, right? And they have no clue how to make more money on that sale, right?
Yeah.
They may say, oh, that land's worth nothing here. I'll sell it, like North Park, South Park, City Heights, Normal Heights, older original San Diego. How do you identify, and what's the process with permits, just permits, going to the county? I mean, I've seen your videos. I see you down, not at the courthouse, but at, I've seen you fighting. What was that? I saw you a long time ago. Something.
So
that
I
you were
was
like,
in National City
National City for a huge project.
for a city council hearing.
City council.
we got our teeth kicked in. 0-5 vote. We're back again. We just got our first.
Don't run for office.
Yeah. No
Just
kidding.
kidding.
We got our teeth kicked in. We went to the community and discussed it with them. That project is actually going to be coming up again. But I went ahead and started another project down there, and I just got that one approved.
Awesome.
Little side note on that one: first affordable project done in the city of National City by a private developer.
First one.
First one. Blew my mind. Wow. I had no idea that was the case, but yeah, that was the
affordability
first one. So we're the first restrictive covenant being issued to a private developer, which is insane because in San Diego, city of San Diego, it happens all the time. So doing that one, going back with the other one, changing it more to what the community wants. But the process is, it's a little confusing, but what you have to do is in the county of San Diego, there's 19 municipalities. One is the county, 18 others are city of San Diego, city of Carlsbad, city of National City, all those different cities. So each one has a different process. The first thing to do is figure out where your property is located, and then do the first and most basic search of finding out what type of zoning is on the property. You know, is it RS 1-7? Is it RM 2-5? Those all mean different things. RS, residential, single family. 1-7 is a code that you have to pull up. I know it's 1 per 5,000 square feet, but the 1-7 doesn't help figure that out.
Yeah.
Then RM 2-5, residential, multifamily, and it means 1 per 1,500. I don't know why it's 2-5. This is a code change they did recently that drives me nuts. But figure that out, then find out what are called overlays for the property. So if you're in an environmental zone, if you're in a traffic zone, if you're in an airport zone, if you're in a tandem parking zone, you need to know all those things because it's going to dictate how your setbacks work and how the property sits on it. There are several more steps after that, but really from there you need to bring in either someone possibly like myself, or go the route of an architect or a civil engineer to start analyzing what you really have there. But that's your first step, is find out basics of what it is. From there, I could talk for 7 hours and put everyone to sleep on what you're going to do next. But it's really not a, it's like a tell your own storybook where you get each different clue takes you down a different path.
So let me ask you a question on this, because that's actually, you brought on a great point. For somebody that thinks they can do it on their own, they've got no idea what they're going to get themselves into.
Yeah.
So do you ever get into joint ventures?
Yes, all the time.
All the time?
All the time.
So you're the pro. Someone may have a deal, but you know how to do everything.
Yeah.
You got the playbook.
So we do that. We do that all the time. We do the JV. We come in as the developing partner. We also hire all the consultants because there's multiple consultants on every project. So you'll have soils, architectural, structural. You could have biology. You could have a series of other special consultants that have to come in. But the thing that is hard to understand is they don't necessarily all talk to each other unless you make them talk to each other. So we are the facilitator with the 80% of knowledge. So we may not have all the technical knowledge on how, you have to do the curb cut and set the angles based off of all that, but we have the knowledge to know that we have to do this and these three parties need to speak to each other.
Wow.
So, and it's all of that knowledge comes from going through the process and learning the hard way, essentially.
Yeah.
So
to someone, I mean, in what I do, it's like when people think they can do it all, it's like, stick to what you do best.
Yep.
Right? Approach a professional, not just a licensed professional, but a knowledgeable person that has been through the process, not just number of times, but that has developed the relationships, the contacts, knows process and procedure, knows really who you can't mess with.
Yep.
And knows timelines, right? Expectations, because all I hear is it's all about who you know in order to get things done quicker, but it's the experience that you bring to the table.
Well, and it's understanding that two lots can be sitting next to each other and they're going to go down completely different paths because one has, say, an easement. So for a project I'm working on, we had a gas line easement that fortunately, when I reached out to Ryan Lipsy at Tycor, he pulls my prelims
Ryan's
for
awesome.
me. Yeah, he's always jumping in and making sure when I go in on a project that I can get the prelim and see what's going on. Pulled up that easement and got us the paperwork and all of the history on it so we can find out, one, can we move it? Two, do we have to build around it? And three, what's it going to do to affect the project? So I have parcel A that has this easement, parcel B that has nothing. B, I can go turn in construction docs. I'm done.
Okay.
A, I have to go through a discretionary process, which could take 18 to 24 months.
Ooh.
And they could just say no.
Ah, no.
So knowing that that can happen is huge. It's huge on setting up that expectation and timelines. And I mean, my personal property, I am on month 33 of permitting, and I just got approval. And I didn't know it was going to take that long. So, yeah, so that's a property in South Park, previously zoned a lot, but I had a small amount of coastal sage on my property. Bottom corner, one plant got called out, and I went through an entire CEQA process and everything. So
that's insane.
Yeah, I gave that land to the city in the end.
So here you go.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, here you go. I pay taxes on it indefinitely.
Of course you do. Well, yeah. So let me ask you a question. For the people that are watching this right now, if you were to just say why they should approach you to work with you and what you can bring to the table, what message would you give, and how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so message I give is if you're at your home or you're at a project that you're looking at and you look around and you see a bunch of apartment complexes around it, it's probably a good time to contact me because we can dive in and find out if that hidden value is there. If you're a seller and you're tired because all of the 10-unit apartment complexes are being built around you and you don't want to just sell it as a house, contact me. I'll figure out what's actually going on there so we can sell your property. So, and you can get me at a couple places. So Qualified Opportunity Zones, Qualified Opportunity Zone Info, it's a really long one, .com. You can subscribe for information on Qualified Opportunity Zones, and that connects directly to me as well, which is a hot topic right now in San Diego. And then Andrew at thomas-strafford.com. And then if you put my name in Google, you're going to find me.
And how about that little thing that people used to dial? Do you have one of those?
Yeah, there's. So if you want to text me. No.
Yeah, text. Don't call me, text me.
If you want to call me and then text, 858-703-7361. Text is always easiest. My phone's going crazy right now, and I'll find out what was happening. But always the easiest because I always see it, and I am the king of telemarketers, so I get called constantly.
Oh,
so
it's been going around.
I get it like crazy.
Well, Andrew, I appreciate you coming down here, and this has been a wealth of knowledge. I've learned a lot, and you guys heard it. Any development, anything you guys need to know, Andrew Greer is your guy. See you guys.